Hi, welcome to iFlip for Math, Mathcast, Lesson 7-6, Part 1, Dividing Decimals by a Whole Number Using the Standard Algorithm. I'm Mrs. Gooding, and our quote tonight is by Thomas Edison, who said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work." And I think what he means is that we always look for opportunities in life and think that we're going to get more if we're smart or if we have great ability. But the truth is, I agree with Thomas Edison that our success and our opportunities come from how hard we're willing to work. So if you're willing to work hard, you can learn anything in math. Our learning goal is to use the standard algorithm to divide a decimal by a whole number. Here it is. We're going to divide using the standard algorithm. That's important. These are not difficult division problems, but I want you to really try the standard algorithm tonight. You might find you like it better with decimal division. We're going to be annexing zeros as needed to find the numbers after the decimal, and we're going to check using decimal multiplication. So let's get started. Here's our first example. 28 and 40 hundredths divided by 40. Remember, when we're reading a decimal number like that, it's equivalent to the number 28 and 4/10, but if they put the zero there, we need to read it. So 28 and 40 hundredths. Let's go ahead and see how we would work this problem. The key to decimal division is that if you only have a decimal in the house, there's no decimal in your divisor, only the dividend, then your decimal simply goes straight up onto the roof. So that's where your decimal is going to be in your answer. And now you pretty much just work your division problem like you usually would. There's going to be a little bit of a difference at the end. If I'm doing 40 goes into 2, we know we can't do that. So I'm going to put an X over that. And 40 goes into 28, we can't do that either. So now we know that we're going to have a 2-digit quotient on the top. So let's go ahead. If we're estimating 40 going into 284, I can look at the front end of this, the 4, and the front end of this, which is the 28, and I know 4 goes into 28 7 times. So maybe 40 goes into 284 about 7 times. So I'm going to come over here to the side and do some mental math. 7 times 40, underline those non-zero digits. 7 times 4 is 28, and then this guy gets to come over here. So our answer is 280, and that works. I'm going to put that 7 right there, and I've already done the work for 7 times 40. I know it's 280, so I'll write that below. And I'm going to subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Since I don't have any digits up here with value, I don't need to write those zeros. But I do have to bring this down because I have an empty place value position up here on the roof, and I'm going to have to fill it with something. So now I have the number 40, and 40 goes into 40 one time. I really don't need to work anything out there. 1 times 40 is 40, and 40 minus 40 is 0. So I'm not going to have to do anything else, add any zeros or anything like that. Now, when I look at my answer, I have a decimal 71. What I know is that it's really not grammatically, mathematically correct to write it that way. So I would write a 0 here just to make sure it has a digit before that decimal. So our answer is 71 hundredths. And to check it, I'm going to multiply 40 times 71 hundredths. And my answer should be 28 and 40 hundredths. So here are our practice problems. In that picture up there's a picture of Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, which I thought was kind of fun that we keep seeing our inventors in pictures right after we've watched the other lesson. Here's our first problem. 22 and 1/10 divided by 17. So go ahead and work that out. If you're not sure what to do, if you get stuck on something, just push play and then you can watch and see how I do it. Go ahead and see what you can get done in that problem and then push play when you're ready. Did you write 1 and 3/10? Let me show you how I did that. So I know that when I only have a decimal in the house in that dividend and not in my divisor, then my decimal is going to go straight up. So that should be pretty easy. Now I'm just going to work it like it's a regular division problem. So 17 goes into 2. Can't do that. Can't go into a room that's smaller than yourself. 17 goes into 22. I know that's 1 time. 1 times 17 is 17. Remember, I'm keeping it all in the same room, lining it up right there. 2 minus 7. I can't do that. Cross out that. Regroup, so now I have 12 minus 7 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. And now I have to bring down my 1. So 17 goes into 51. I know 17 is about 20. And 20 times 2 is 40. So I'm going to estimate that it goes in 2 times. Let's see. 2 times 17. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Oh, that doesn't look like that's very close. Let's try 3 times 17 just to be safe. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. Oh, that looks a lot better. So 17 goes into 51 3 times. 3 times 17 is 51. We know that because we have our problem over there. And 51 minus 51 is 0. So our answer is 1 3/10. We haven't had to annex any zeros yet, and that's cool, but I'm kind of excited to show you what happens when we do have to annex a 0. Go ahead and check it by multiplying 17 times 1 3/10 to get an answer of 22 1/10. Number 2, 36 27/100 divided by 9. Go ahead and work that problem. Push play when you're ready. Did you write 4 3/100? Let's see how we did that one. Okay, so remember we're going to take our decimals straight up to the roof. And now 9 goes into 3, doesn't. 9 goes into 36 4 times. 9 times 4 is 36. And 36 minus 36 is 0. Bring down my 2. 9 goes into 2. It doesn't. So I'm going to put a 0 here. Because once I'm inside the answer, I don't want to just put an X. So I'm going to put a 0 there. So 9 times 0 is 0. And subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. And now I'm going to bring down my 7. 9 goes into 27 3 times. 9 times 3 is 27. I'm just following the regular standard algorithm steps. 27 minus 27 is 0. Again, I didn't have to annex any zeros. So our answer is 4 3/100. And I can check that by multiplying that times 9. I should get 36 27/100. So we're going to practice a word problem now. Number 3. If it will cost Mr. Edison $35.14 to build 7 phonographs, those are like old-timey record players, how much will it cost to build 1 phonograph? So work that division problem and then push play when you're ready. Did you write $5.02? Let's see how we did that one. So I'm taking that amount of money, $35.14, and I'm dividing it up into the cost for 7 phonographs. So that will tell me how much each 1 phonograph would cost. So I'm going to go ahead and take my decimal and move it straight up because I don't have a decimal in my divisor. And now I can start dividing. 7 goes into 3. It doesn't. 7 goes into 35 5 times because 7 times 5 is 35. Now I'm going to subtract. 35 minus 35 is 0. And bring down the 1. 7 goes into 1. It doesn't, so I'm going to put a 0 right there because it's already part of my answer. 7 times 0 is 0. And 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down your 4. Keep your lines and columns nice and straight and lined up. 7 goes into 14 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 minus 14 is 0. And because I don't have any remainders, they've made these very neat little problems here tonight. I can multiply 7 times 5 2/100, and I should get 35 14/100. Remember to check your work. These problems are problems that you might make little mistakes on, and you want to make sure you catch them before I catch them or the test giver catches them. It's time to challenge yourself. Mr. Edison needs 35 and 902 thousandths inches of wire filament to make 58 light bulbs. How much wire will it take to make each light bulb? So have some fun working that out. It's kind of like you're a little inventor there too. And show your work in your flip journal and check your answer when you come back. Finishing up. This might have been hard for you. If standard algorithm is not the way that you prefer to work the division problems, then tomorrow night's lesson is going to be one maybe that makes a little bit more sense to you. But this will just show you that sometimes it's easier to work decimal division using the standard algorithm. And I wanted you to have some experience with that. Go ahead and write down if you're at a level 1, 2, or 3 in your learning so that we can help you tomorrow. And write down any questions that you might have. Be very specific. And congratulations, you finished lesson 7-6, part 1, dividing a decimal by a whole number using the standard algorithm. I will see you tomorrow.